I am Ankita Robin and welcome to SG Global News. Tonight, from yet another tragic shooting in Pennsylvania following the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the attack at Assumption Church in Minneapolis, to the kidnapping of another Nigerian priest, we have many stories to cover. Three police officers were killed and two others injured in a shooting in North Corduroy Township, Pennsylvania, while responding to a domestic incident. The gunman was shot dead by police and two victims remain in serious condition at York Hospital. State officials condemned the attack, calling it a tragic reminder of the dangers faced by law enforcement. On the early hours of Wednesday, a tragic shooting in rural York County, Pennsylvania claimed the lives of three police officers and left two others critically injured. The officers were at a farmhouse in North Corduroy Township to serve a warrant, part of a domestic-related investigation that began the previous day. After an exchange of gunfire, the suspect was also killed. Authorities say the suspect may have been the ex-boyfriend of a woman living in the farmhouse who had reported seeing him in a nearby cornfield the previous day. A warrant had been issued, but the suspect could not be located until officers arrived. The two surviving officers were airlifted to Wellspan York Hospital and remained in critical but stable condition. Governor Josh Shapiro described the event as an absolutely tragic and devastating day for York County and the whole state, urging unity and reflection. In response, flags on public buildings were ordered to be flown at half-staff in honor of the fallen. Pope Leo XIV renewed his call for peace, expressing deep sympathy for the people of Gaza at his weekly general audience on Wednesday. He urged a ceasefire, the release of hostages, and respect for international humanitarian law amid Israel's intensified assault on Gaza City. Citing human dignity as inviolable, the Pope appealed for prayers and a diplomatic solution.
Pope Leo XIV renewed his appeal for a Gaza ceasefire during his Wednesday general audience, Vatican News reported. He expressed deepest sympathy for Palestinians enduring fear, displacement, and what he described as unacceptable conditions. The Pope's remarks came a day after Israeli forces launched a major offensive on Gaza City, ordering civilians to flee amid the heaviest bombardment in nearly 2 years. Invoking the biblical commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," Pope Leo stressed that every person possesses inviolable dignity that must be respected and protected. He urged a ceasefire, the release of hostages, and the diplomatic resolutions to the conflict. The Holy Father further appealed for adherence to international humanitarian law, which he said is vital to safeguarding the civilian lives. He invited Catholics and people of goodwill worldwide to join him in prayer that a dawn of peace and justice may soon rise. Vatican News noted that the church leaders have consistently raised concern over civilian suffering in Gaza as the war escalates.
A landmark case in Northern Ireland has taken an unexpected turn after a pro-life activist successfully challenged the judge presiding over her appeal. Claire Brennan, arrested for praying outside an abortion clinic, requested the presiding judge's recusal on grounds of bias due to his history of abortion rights activism. The judge, visibly unsettled, granted her time to formally submit the application, setting the stage for a potentially unprecedented legal moment. A pro-life mother of 4 from Northern Ireland has been granted permission to apply for the recusal of the judge overseeing her appeal on grounds of impartiality. Claire Brennan, a Roman Catholic, was convicted in December 2024 for praying outside Causeway Hospital in Coleraine on 3 October 2023, the first case of its kind under the Safe Access Zones laws. The charges against her included conducting an anti-abortion protest with intention or recklessness. At the protest, she recited the Lord's Prayer and held a sign reading, "Pray to End Abortion." After her conviction and a £750 fine, she filed an appeal at Ballymena Court. When informed that the appeal would be heard by Judge Kieran Moynihan, Brennan raised concerns because in his past career as a solicitor, he had publicly described himself as an abortion activist for human rights, had represented abortion rights or reform cases, and had been critical of laws criminalizing abortion pills. On 15 September 2025, she lodged a formal complaint to the Lady Chief Justice's office demanding Moynihan's recusal. The next day, during proceedings at Ballymena Court, she directly asked Judge Moinak if he could judge her fairly. She stated, quote, "If you can't, I want another judge, a new and fresh trial with a new judge," end quote. Judge Moinak responded that he would hear arguments from both sides on whether to recuse. He then allowed Ms. Brennan 2 weeks to submit a skeleton argument and gave the prosecution a week to respond. Speaking afterward, Ms. Brennan said, quote, "I do not believe a judge with such a public record of advocacy on one side of this debate can be seen as impartial. I'm simply asking for a fair hearing before a judge who hasn't already taken a public stance on the very issues at the heart of my case," end quote. Many legal commentators regard this as an unusual move in Northern Ireland jurisprudence because recusal of judges on account of prior public statements or activism is relatively rare. J.K. Rowling, the celebrated author of the Harry Potter series, is opening up about her long struggle with faith. In a candid post on X, she admitted to having what she calls a God-shaped vacuum and listed several beliefs she's changed her mind about over the years. From gender differences to assisted dying, her reflections are sparking wide reaction, including prayers and recommendations from Christians around the world. The renowned British author of the Harry Potter series, Joanne Rowling, better known by her pen name J.K. Rowling, has recently opened up about her faith, or more precisely, her struggles with it. She was prompted by an ex-user to disclose any beliefs she had changed her mind about. At age 60, Rowling listed several issues on which her views have evolved. She also said that she has been wrestling with religious faith since her mid-teens. Quote, "I appear to have a God-shaped vacuum inside me, but I never seem quite able to make up my mind what to do about it," end quote, she wrote. She asserted that she does not currently hold a single belief that could not be changed by clear, concrete evidence, except for what she refers to as the God conundrum. In the same post, she admitted she doesn't know what evidence would firmly settle the question of God's existence or non-existence for her. Rowling admits her views have shifted on several key issues. She no longer believes gender differences are purely social, saying biology matters too. She has dropped her support for unilateral nuclear disarmament. She no longer sees cannabis as harmless after witnessing its damaging effects firsthand. And she has reversed her stance on assisted dying, warning of the risks of coercion for the vulnerable. J.K. Rowling's X post, which appeared on Friday, September 12th, has since been viewed by over 814,000 individuals. Many Christians have responded to the post with resources that would prove the existence of God. Among the recommendations were Surprised by Joy by C.S. Lewis, Blaise Pascal's arguments, and the writings of Owen Barfield. Some replies to her post included prayers for her conversion and her pursuit of truth. ABC has suspended Jimmy Kimmel Live after host Jimmy Kimmel sparked backlash with controversial remarks about the assassination of Christian activist Charlie Kirk. The network announced the show will be halted indefinitely, with Disney also pulling past episodes. Kimmel drew criticism for accusing Trump supporters of political gamesmanship and for airing a doctored video of President Trump. Shortly after the suspension, Trump praised ABC on X, applauding the network for cancelling the show.
The American Broadcasting Company has halted the airing of its flagship late-night show Jimmy Kimmel Live over insensitive comments made by the show's long-serving host, Jimmy Kimmel, regarding the assassination of American Christian activist Charlie Kirk. In an official statement, ABC confirmed that the broadcast of the show will be preempted indefinitely. Disney, the parent company, also announced that it will halt the airing of previous episodes. The controversy erupted over Kimmel's remarks during his Monday monologue, in which he alleged that the MAGA movement was trying to distort the identity of Kirk's assailant and present him as anything other than one of their own. The late-night host then continued his tirade by accusing the President Donald Trump and the Republican Party of attempting to score political points over the assassination and criticized the gesture of flags being flown at half-mast in Kirk's honor. He further presented a doctored video of Trump seemingly celebrating Kirk's death, claiming that Trump was not grieving in any genuine way, as a normal adult would in such circumstances. Shortly after the show's suspension was announced, President Donald Trump expressed his happiness on X and lauded ABC for cancelling the show.
Penguin Random House UK has launched its first dedicated Christian imprint, Ebery Vine. The new label will focus exclusively on Christian living and faith-based books, beginning with Waiting for Jesus by pastor and author Rich Veloudis. The publisher says the launch responds to growing demand worldwide, especially among young people, for content that offers faith, hope, and healing.
Penguin Random House UK, one of the largest book publishers in the country, has launched its first Christian imprint. Titled Ebery Vine, the imprint is dedicated exclusively to Christian living and faith-based publications. Its inaugural release, Waiting for Jesus, an Advent invitation to prayer and renewal by Rich Veloudis, was published on September 18th. While Penguin Random House UK has previously published Christian titles through its Ebery division, this marks the first time a distinct imprint has been created solely for Christian books. The publisher said the launch responds to a clear market demand, citing a resurgence of Christianity worldwide, particularly among young people. The aim is to give PRH UK a focused and recognizable Christian list and brand. Upcoming titles under the Ebery Vine banner include Liturgies of the Wild by Dr. Martin Shaw, Silence and Fire by Tish Harrison Warren, Rhythms of Faith by Claude Atcho, Gradually Then Suddenly by Mark Patterson, and Uncluttered Faith by Joshua Becker. Commissioning editor Charissa Gunashekara has already acquired 15 titles, with more in the pipeline. In a recent statement, she said she looks forward to partnering with new authors, championing British voices on spiritual health, and publishing books that offer faith-based hope and healing. Olivia Morris, Ebery's self-publishing director, added that the imprint's logo reflects its mission to draw on the deep roots of Christianity to cultivate curious minds and inspire faith-informed growth.
That's all for today. Until we meet again, God bless and thank you.